Hi everyone, it's Bloom here, and welcome to my Let's Play of Clock Tower 3. This is the fourth game in the Clock Tower series, though it's not really related to the other games, so it's a good starting point if you're looking to get into the series, because it doesn't really have any relation. It's a good game that stands on its own, and it's actually the first Clock Tower game with fully realized 3D controls. It was made by the same company, Capcom, as Haunting Ground, and it shares a lot of similarities in the way that the game plays, and the staff, I think. A lot of the staff was the same as well, and they used a lot of the same, like, sound effects, like, exactly the same sound effects. So you can really tell that the same people worked on it. Although it's a little different, because it combines this isn't gonna sound real when I say it. It combines the horror from the hide-and-seek Clock Tower games with a magical girl story. And it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. And it kind of works, and it kind of doesn't. I admire its ambition, like, very much so. But it's a very strange thing to bring to the genre. I do really like playing this game, though. This game is, like, very, very corny in a lot of parts, but I'm not really sure where and when it takes itself seriously and when it doesn't. If you looked at the, if you noticed, at the beginning of that FMV, it said that this game is, directed by Kinji Fukasaku, and he's a very famous, Japanese film director. But in the West, he's mostly known for, making Battle Royale. That was one of the last things he did, and I think Clock Tower 3 was Clock Tower 3 was definitely the last full project he did. So you'll be able to notice a lot of his style from these cutscenes. Very over the top, very dramatic, but you know, if you like his movies, then you'll probably like the cutscenes in this game. And, so we could load, actually, we could load to, I'll explain once this FMV is over.
Dearest Alyssa, how have you been? I think of you every day. It seems such a long time since you started your life at boarding school. It was after your beloved grandfather went missing while traveling 3 years ago that I sent you away to boarding school and told you not to come back for at least 6 years, without giving you any explanation. It must have been very painful for you, and I'm sorry, but it was for your own protection.
Your grandfather, whom you loved so dearly, has vanished. He disappeared on a trip nearly 3 years ago, without giving...
Please go into hiding until your 15th birthday has passed. I know that what I am saying will make no sense to you, but please
Yet even
do as
those...
I tell you and hide as quickly as you can. Your loving mother, Nancy.
Mum. Alyssa, you're wanted on the telephone. It's your mother.
Hello? Mum? Hello? Are you there?
What's wrong? Answer me. Hello? Hello? Mum? Hello? Mum? Mum? Answer me.
Mum? I'm back. Mum? Excuse me. Are you one of the lodgers?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I'm Alyssa, Nancy's daughter. Do you know where my mother is?
Your mother has gone out. That was early yesterday morning.
Huh?
She mentioned that she would not be coming back for some time.
What?
She was wrong. She won't be coming back at all. So it's just you. You are all alone in this world now, little girl. My sweet Alyssa. I've been waiting so long for this moment.
Get away from me!
Nothing weird actually happens to her, by the way, in case you were worried. This game is a lot classier than Haunting Ground in that respect. So if we started on a New Game Plus, we would have gotten a key right there to our wardrobe. But that would have also made us do a hard mode. And I'm not going to do that, because if I wanted to do a hard mode... Well, I mean, at least not at first. The clock keeps perfect time. I don't know, maybe eventually one day I'll do a hard mode. If someone makes a mod that replaces the Japanese costumes of this game with the English ones, or so we can have the Japanese costumes in this game, then I would totally absolutely do that 100 times, and I'd love you forever. I know it is possible to mod PS2 games like this. Replace the costumes in the Japanese version with the costumes in this version. Thank you. Someone please do that. Because in the English version, they are just awful. God, awful. Awful, awful, awful. In Japanese, they're super cute, but in this one, they're like this pseudo-sexy, weird, ugly. It's just, like, gross, because she's supposed to be 15. There's no need to go out now. I have to find Mom. And also, they're just plain ugly. That guy just told you that she wasn't here, so what are you still doing here? And so that guy is called the Dark Gentleman or the Dark Man. They don't actually tell you his name in the game. Not a speck of dust. Mum must have cleaned for me. The desk is nice and tidy. This is Alyssa's room, if you couldn't tell. The TV doesn't work! Maybe it's not plugged in properly. So that's what we use to get our panic down, lavender water, instead of just plain lavender. And our wardrobe is locked. But that's fine, because all the clothes in there are ugly. Except for one of the costumes, which is okay. And, like... Well, I mean, we wear it at the end of the game, no matter what. So it's okay. The panic meter. Whenever Alyssa is feeling physically or emotionally threatened, the panic meter rises. When the panic meter reaches max, Alyssa falls into a state of panic. While in a state of panic, Alyssa's movements are restricted, and if attacked while in a state of panic, she will die. The panic meter reading will go down slowly if Alyssa relaxes in a safe place. Always keep an eye on the panic meter and try to minimize stress whenever possible. So yeah, the panic mode is not nearly as bad as it is in Haunting Ground, because you can just enter the menu and use some lavender water. But if you are attacked and you don't have this special item that allows you to survive a fatal attack, then you'll just die. And another reason why the costumes in this game are kind of pointless is because every single cutscene is an FMV, so it's like, what's the point? That's creepy, I guess. That looks like a bottle and a letter down there. Nancy's letter. Dearest Alyssa, I wanted nothing more than for you to live peacefully, but if you are reading this now, you must have come back to the house. For your protection, I am giving you some advice, as well as instructions on how to use this bottle of holy water. Holy water uses: 1. Exorcism. If ever you are threatened, sprinkle some holy water on your assailant. It will cause them to halt temporarily. 2. Destroying sigils. To break the seals to prevent access to certain places, sprinkle holy water on them. Replenishing holy water. Always remember that the holy water you have is not in limitless supply. You can refill your bottles from either sacred jars or lion drinking fountains. Sentimental items and spirits. A person who has died of unnatural causes is unfinished business in the living world. In order to protect yourself, you must work to heal their wounds. To do so, you must find their sentimental item. Lastly, this is all my fault, but I will do my best to protect you. Please remember that I love you more than anything else in the world, and I always will. It's the patron saint of the Hamilton house. What is it doing here, though, and why is it crying blood? The controls are kind of like... Just note that, like, she doesn't turn around right away, which can be really annoying if you're trying to escape from a stalker and you just pause to turn around like that. I keep forgetting that controls aren't the same as in Haunting Ground. The old door's been boarded up. I can't remember this door ever having been opened. Someone's behind the door? It won't open. It feels as though it's been sealed shut. The sigil isn't ready there yet. It's not ready. Nancy, her mom. The three-way mirror has been folded up. Everyone has the same bedspread in this game. Who is that in the portrait? It's been there forever.
Mum, I came back home. I know you told me not to, but I couldn't help it. I'm so worried about you. Where are you, Mum? Who's playing that? Where's the sound coming from? Who's doing that?
She has to touch her butt to everything before she leaves. So yeah, she has the same exact name from the protagonist of Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within, or Clock Tower Ghost Head. But this isn't really the developer's fault or, like, intentional. I'm sure they knew about it, but they didn't really care. Because in the Japanese version of Clock Tower 2, and I say Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within, because Clock Tower 2 in Japan is Clock Tower 1 for the PlayStation, the door is sealed shut. Because her name in the Japanese version, the original version, was Yu Midoshima, and not Alyssa Hale. So, the motion capture in this game is absolutely insane. And this is the actress doing all her own stunts, by the way. Like, it's so completely over the top. It's like they wanted to show that they could do it, and admittedly, this is, very impressive for its time. But jeez. If you watch the live action, making of scenes, it's just like... Wow. It's insane. And I mean, like... Like, when I say insane, I don't mean impressively insane. Like, I mean, it is very impressive for its time, but it's also like, why are the actors doing this? They're just freaking out. It's like, why? I know, I haven't watched Battle Royale in a while, but that, I guess it kind of is, and I haven't watched any of his other movies, so I actually can't really say if that's his style or not, but if his other movies are anything like Battle Royale, they're very over the top, just like everything in this game. Christmas Eve, 1942, 15th Annual Piano Concours. 1942, where on earth am I? Well, you're in 1942. I just told you, in England, the same place. So, you'll notice the number 15 and the number 3 a lot in this game. It takes place in 2003. I think it came out in 2002 in Japan at the end of 2002 and was released in 2003. It didn't get released in English until the death of Kenji Fukasaku. So I don't think he ever got to see this. Something is holding the door closed, but yeah, he saw the Japanese version because this was all originally recorded in Japanese and everything. And the voice acting is over the top in Japanese, and it's over the top in English, and it's all awesome because it is as over the top and corny and dramatic as it needs to be for the style of this game. So it's just perfect. The ring, give me back my ring. No, I'm gonna move on without helping you. No, I can't. Spirits won't let me pass. Why are they stopping me? But I don't want to help them. Yeah, I am gonna help them. I'm gonna help all the spirits in this game doing 100% run. A 100% run sounds impressive, but it's not for this game. It's extremely linear. Engagement ring. A lot of the sentimental items are, like, necessary, but most of them aren't. Spiritual healing. When you find a sentimental item that belongs to a person who died of unnatural causes, return it to its rightful owner. If it is a ring, put it in its case. If it is a half-heart pendant, put it together with the other half, and so on. By returning these spiritual items, comma, no space, spirits are healed, and Alyssa may obtain another item or valuable information in return. So these can make Alyssa panic. The explosion, but he looks as though he was burnt by something. An empty ring box. Did someone steal the ring from him? Very rarely are the sentimental items, like, more than 10 feet from the body, so it's kind of like, it's satisfying, I'll admit, but... So, Sigil Stone, that is, a stone that will prevent you from instant death once you are attacked. So if you're running from a stalker, and I don't even know if he can follow you here, but if those cans I bumped into, they might, you know, cause noise. I can hear a piano. Is it coming from the hall over there? That is a really loud piano. And yeah, this is the same, or at least the first part of the song where it was really fast. That's the same song that they used in Clock Tower 2 Ghost Head. Again, I'm not sure if it was intentional. It's a hell of a coincidence, but it's weird that they would make a reference to that game most of the references to previous games are just the clocks and stuff. Oh, and what was I saying before? You frequently see the numbers 3. The top one doesn't matter. That's just the amount of holy water doses I have right now. In this game, because the third Clock Tower game came out in 2003. Well, actually no, that's irrelevant because it came out in Japan in 2002. It takes place in 2003, I think. It's covered in bloodstains, a victim's belongings. The entry begins, "My darling," must be addressed to her fiancé. How do you know? Yeah, that laugh was in Haunting Ground too. A lot of the same sound effects. What was I saying? So yeah, the number 3, you'll be noticing the number 3 a lot in this game, and also the number 15, because she's, turning 15, and 5 times 3 is 15, so yeah. This is one that is optional, but we are going to do all of them. I don't get it. They cleaned up the crime scene. They drew the chalk outline, but they just left all the blood there? There are no, like, things that say, hey, stay away from this crime scene that's still being investigated. I want to look over here and see if there's anything, because I completely forget if there is. There is not. And, there is no stamina meter in this game. Alyssa can run. She runs slowly, but she'll run for as long as you want her to. Ah! A leaflet. Christmas Eve, 1942, 15th Annual Piano Concours. There's a sign pinned to the wall. Entry by invitation only. The management. There's a sign pinned to the wall. Okay. If I knock over the cans before I begin to be chased, then it doesn't matter. Norton's Taylor.